Good afternoon. The chief executive of G4S, the company which has failed to deliver enough guards for the Olympic Games, has said he is deeply sorry. In a grilling from MPs, Nick Buckles admitted the debacle was a humiliating shambles for the company, but insisted he was the right man to deliver the contract. As troops and hundreds of police officers begin to fill the staffing gaps left by G4S, Mr Buckles admitted that he knew about a shortfall in staff at the beginning of July, but only told organisers last week that they wouldn't meet the contract. In a moment, analysis from our UK editor, and we'll be asking Olympian Sir Steve Redgrave about the security issues overshadowing the Games. But first, Neil Connery has this report. Our UK editor Keir Simmons joins me now. Keir, you've been following this all along and you've been speaking to your contacts this morning. Are we any closer to finding out just exactly how many staff G4S can provide?
Well, look, despite the reassurances, I think the evidence from the Chief Executive today in Parliament showed just how serious an issue this is, because he said that he believes that they can provide G4S a minimum of 7,000 employees. Now, I think that is out of a requirement of 15,000, because it includes students, I believe. Certainly said 500 of those 7,000 are contractors. Now, if that is the case, and some of that 7,000 are students, then they have failed to recruit and train and provide people, thousands of people, because they were expected to have 10,400. So we have a very serious problem there. If the total need is 15,000, then do we actually need more military to step in? We need to ask those questions through this afternoon. And I think we also have some questions from the evidence they gave that they first learnt about problems on the 3rd of July, because of course ITV News wrote to G4S back in May saying, look, you have all these problems. Are you sure that you're going to be able to provide the numbers of people? And we even interviewed Ian Horseman-Sewell, who's giving evidence to the committee, and asked him, are you sure you're going to be able to provide the people, because we're being told you're not going to be able to? And he said he would, and that was before the 3rd of July.
OK, Keir, thank you. Lots more questions to be answered. Earlier, I spoke to five-time Olympic champion Sir Steve Redgrave and asked him if he thought that security problems were overshadowing the build-up to the Games. As you say, you have been to many Olympic Games, Atlanta being an example, of course, where there were serious security breaches. Considering the risks involved, are you surprised at what seem to be last-minute security plans here? 10 days to go now until the sport really starts, and, of course, that opening ceremony. We can't let you go without asking you about who might be lighting that flame. A vigil has been held for 3 children found dead yesterday. The bodies of 12-year-old Sam Fuller and his sisters 8-year-old Becca and 7-year-old Charlotte were discovered in Woodland in Shropshire. The body of their father, Kerry Fuller, was found nearby. Police say they aren't looking for anyone else in connection with the deaths. Juliet Bremner reports. To Emily Morgan now, who's in the village in Gloucestershire where the family lived. Emily, a terribly difficult time for the people of Milkwall. Police hunting for 2 missing people say they've found a car in a collapsed tunnel in Dorset. It's the Governor of the Bank of England, Sir Mervyn King, faced a grilling from MPs this morning. He came under pressure over his handling of the LIBOR rate fixing scandal, and when he knew that the rate had been manipulated. Our economics editor, Richard Edgar, joins me now. Richard, do we know any more about when Sir Mervyn knew the LIBOR rate had been manipulated now then?
Yes, and a quick reminder.
Scotland could be the first part of the UK to allow same-sex marriage. The ruling party in Scotland, the SNP, has said it's in favour of the legislation, which will be discussed at a cabinet meeting this afternoon. However, the move faces opposition from some religious groups. Scotland correspondent Debbie Edward joins me now from Edinburgh. Debbie, this debate follows a massive consultation on the issue, doesn't it? The BBC Rogue Traders presenter Dan Penteado has been jailed for 12 weeks for benefit fraud, totalling more than £24,000. Now, would you consider bringing your kids into work? Could you juggle team meetings and feeding times, not to mention all that kiddie clutter that would be strewn about the office? Well, in the US, over 170 companies are taking part in Bring Your Babies to Work schemes. And businesses over here have begun to participate as well. Well, Daisy... And that's it this lunchtime. Alistair and Julie will be here for the news at 6:30. The news where you are follows the national weather. Bye-bye.